Welcome to Straight to the Point, What is Lean? Lean is very often combined with Six Sigma. Today we're going to be looking at just Lean. Lean itself is a practical approach to process management. What we mean by practical is that much of what you want to accomplish through Lean can be completed through observation, interviewing, or other interactions that aren't dependent on data systems. Although, of course, it's always great to have hard data. What we want to do is identify what is our customer value, what is it we're trying to accomplish, and what is the most efficient way at delivering it. When we start with Lean, we want to understand what is our customer's value. Customer value itself can be most easily defined as what it is your customer's requirements are and what they're willing to pay for it. Lean is going to help us understand the unit costs behind producing what it is that they're wanting and what they're willing to pay for. And a tool that helps illustrate those unit costs is a value stream map. A value stream map, which we will take a look at in a later session, identifies the various steps within a process and how they flow. Ultimately, what we want to take away from a value stream map is the efficiency of our process. So how many operators do we have in a given step? What is our quality levels? What is our process time, our delay time, and a few other metrics. When we produce our value stream map, it could be for our current state as well as our future state. Ideally, when we start to look at a process that already exists, we are going to map our current state, identify those improvement events, also known as Kaizen bursts, which will identify the waste within our given process, and afterwards we will map our future state map, which will show us the improvements in efficiency. Let's walk through a quick example of what we just learned. Looking at a manufacturing industry, in specific a pencil factory, we want to first identify what is our customer value. As a reminder, we shared that customer value is defined by our customers. It's not defined by us, the actual producers. We want to understand what our target market is. A pencil factory could produce multiple pencils, or it could be targeted towards one specific market. Are we producing mechanical pencils? Are we producing wood pencils? Are we producing specialty pencils for artists? Understanding our target market, what their needs are, and then further what they're willing to pay for will help us define what our customer value is. Further, when we start to look at our value stream map, it's going to show us the flow of producing those pencils. Depending on the type of pencil we produce, we may have suppliers providing us with wood, charcoal, or other materials so that we can produce our final product. Although we're not going to be looking at a value stream map example today, the other features of that value stream map are going to be identifying waste, and we'll talk more about that in a future session. Looking at a services industry, in specific a contact center, we then further would want to look at defining the value there. We listed here as an IVR an option. So depending on the nature of our customer's inquiry, do they need to speak with a live agent, or could they speak with some form of technology? If we're looking at a customer who is calling a cable provider and they just wanted to add in a new cable channel to their existing package, they might be able to do this online or speaking with an IVR. However, if the customer was calling for technical support, it might be easier for them to speak to a live agent. And although we're not going to be looking at a value stream map for that phone call today, a couple of things that we might identify in the flow of that phone call is when the customer service representative first picks it up, and they're providing a greeting and then followed by verifying the account information as well as the address. They may also ask other questions to help the customer move along with their inquiry. And that is Lean at a very high level. Lean is very much focused on the efficiency of your process using a practical approach. Lean also works towards keeping your inventory levels as close to zero as possible, only producing what you need. In the example of our manufacturing for our pencil factory, we wouldn't want to overproduce too many pencils. And for our contact center, we'd want to ensure that we're properly staffed, that we don't have too many customer service representatives or too little. Lean also takes a look at the concept of understanding customer value, and putting the customer at the center of everything you do is extremely important in all process management methodologies. And finally, one of the more recognizable tools within Lean is value stream mapping. We will walk through an example of what that looks like in a future session. However, at a high level, value stream mapping provides us with an illustration of what our unit costs are for a given process. And we're done. That concludes the session. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much.